the trash talk tailgate.
Strong right slot, Z right. Spider 2Y banana seal.
You're going to call it like it's your favorite play you've ever gotten in your life.
What up, folks? It is Thanksgiving week, and along with the bountiful feast that we're all going to enjoy with the people around us, we have some amazing football coming up, because with Thanksgiving, that means it is rivalry week. Yes, yes, yes. It is the matchups that you wait all year for. the hates, all of the just battles, everything that makes football great. This week, it just gets cranked up to 12. We're skipping 11. We're going straight to 12. But for me, Riley Puddin Peters, and defensive backs quality control coach, the Dr. Preston Rowe, we've got our takes for upcoming rivalry week. And, it's pretty simple. We're going to run it down kind of in order of how they're going to come at you during the week. Starting with Thursday, Thanksgiving itself, we've got the Egg Bowl. That's number 12 Ole Miss versus Mississippi State in Mississippi State. I mean, as you called it, Dr. Preston, it is the televised knife fight.
I saw, that's the best way to describe this, because it's the two Mississippi schools. It's on Thanksgiving night. It's really the only game on Thanksgiving in college football, and the whole country watches it, and it's just there's always some form of just absolute debauchery that goes on. If you've never experienced this game, these two schools and these two fan bases absolutely despise each other. But it's Mississippi, so it has to be a knife fight. That's the best way to describe it. It is just a knife fight. Dude, a few years ago, you had the old piss and miss where Ole Miss fucking scored the game-tying touchdown. Or, no, it was... They needed to kick an extra point to tie the game at the end of regulation. The guy who scored the touchdown fucking did the fucking dog on the fire hydrant. Like, he got on all fours and pretended to, piss, on a fire hydrant. Got a 15-yard penalty, and Ole Miss missed the extra point to lose the game. That's the kind of shit that always happens in this game. It's beautiful. This is the epitome of college football. Just, it's absolute hatred. And
and it's always chaos. At least a little bit.
Absolutely, dude. It's always chaos. Riley...
So, I guess the question is, who do you got in this one?
Dude, you know this as well as anyone, Riley. In college football especially, rivalry weeks, you throw out everything. I don't care if it's an 11-0 team versus an 0-11 team. If it's a rivalry game, none of that shit matters. Because both teams are playing for pride. They're playing for bragging rights throughout the rest of the year. For 365 days. It doesn't matter. Honestly, dude, Mississippi State, they're playing for bowl eligibility. This just kind of feels like a game, because Mississippi State, they're also at home. This feels like a game that Mississippi State will just find a way to win and ruin Ole Miss's season. Because 9-3 sounds a lot worse than 10-2. If you're Ole Miss, if you lose this game, you go to 9-3. If you win this game, you go to 10-2. This just kind of seems like a game that Mississippi State will always just kind of find a way to somehow win. Because, again, you can't take the records into account. It's just the two teams playing. And that's why college football is so special, is rivalry week. I love rivalry week.
This is one... you can never count out a team in a rivalry for sure, but I do believe the old Kiff is probably gonna fucking ice his season and walk out of here 10-2. I think Ole Miss is going to do this one.
Yeah, I got Mississippi State. I know people are probably going to think I'm crazy, but, this is rivalry week.
I don't think you're crazy. Nah, I see the logic. I think this is the one where not that this is the one. I think Ole Miss is the team that's just going to fucking do it this week. At least I hope they should. Moving on. Another big game that we got this week, we got Texas Tech, Texas. That's just one. We got 7th ranked Texas. And once again, anytime you got a big ranked team like that in a rivalry game, it's just upset alert. You just gotta hope they don't choke. I mean, honestly, there's so many. I'm just gonna keep moving.
Who do you got in that game, Riley? Who do you got?
I think Texas is probably gonna pull it out. They are a good team, but Texas, I mean, any of the Texas schools, especially in the big rivalries, especially when one team is so, like, I don't want to say outmatching, but, like, really, Texas has been one of the premier schools of the season. And I think Texas Tech just won't be able to keep up Quinn Ewers' gunslinging all throughout.
Yeah, I agree. I think Texas is going to win. Texas Tech, they're a program on the rise for sure, but I don't think they have the talent to match Texas. I just think I think Texas is a really, really, really good team this year. So I got Texas in this one.
We got Oregon State, number 16 Oregon State versus number 6 Oregon in Oregon.
Oh, this one,
the Beaver Duck battle.
This is a tough one.
This is a tough one.
Because I've got Oregon State, and I'm going to tell you why. I know they're going on the road, but Riley, this is bigger than this game. Oregon left the Pac-12 and left the Pac-12 to basically die. Oregon State is one of the few teams that doesn't have a new conference affiliation yet. You know what I mean? So, Oregon, right or wrong, Oregon State is going to blame Oregon for the Pac-12, being
debacle.
For the whole Pac-12 debacle. That's a good way to put it. So I think this game is going to mean a lot more to Oregon State because these teams are not going to play each other in the foreseeable future. That's one of the shitty things about conference realignment. It's just all these great rivalry games, we're not going to get them anymore. Like Oregon State, they're not going to be able to play Oregon. So I think that this game is going to mean so much more. So they go on the road and they ruin Oregon's season.
Yeah. This is one of those games. I think Dan Lanning is the kind of coach that and this is kind of the same thing that we talked about early in the season. We talked about a lot with that Oregon team. They are very dominant up front. And go back and watch our Washington versus Oregon State coverage, and we will talk about deeply in that game DJ Uiagalelei and his lack of ice and composure in the pocket when being pressured. And I think Oregon's going to win this one just simply off of how much pressure that they can apply to a quarterback. I really think that's kind of the lineup. Everything you said, I really get, and I see that. If DJ has a great game, which he's capable of, very talented quarterback. And some days he does seem to have that ice. Maybe he just needs to spend the night in the freezer the day before, but whatever it is. If he has ice, I see that. But I think Oregon's going to pull this one out.
That's fair. I really think this is going to be the last Civil War for the foreseeable future. This game is going to mean...
You don't think that they I mean, you got Georgia Tech, Georgia, Florida State, Florida, all these teams still... You think that this is this is going to be the end of it? Because I don't know. I feel like a rivalry like this, even if you're not in the same conference, you carve out that last week. I mean, we see a lot of teams with that.
Well, I mean, Oregon State has said that because of what Oregon did to them, they feel like Oregon wronged them and betrayed them. I don't blame them for that. They've come out and said, at least right now, we have no desire to play Oregon again. Like they basically saying they can
Plus
go
he's-
fuck themselves.
Oregon State saying we're on the losing side of the overall of this rivalry. I'm done.
Dude, I really think it.
No, I get what
Like-
they're saying. Nah, I mean, you're rivals. Why would you expect your rival to do anything other than stab you in the
It's
back?
true.
We'll talk about that later. But you know, I get that point. But you know, I think this is a game. I agree with you. Oregon State has a lot to fight for in this one, but I think Oregon is just gonna be they have the sauce to really break Oregon State if they play like they usually do.
That's fair. I think Oregon State is
yeah.
gonna come out of here out of their fucking minds, and they are going to do whatever they can to make sure they win this game. And yeah, man.
All right. The next one that we got, so that was Texas Tech, Oregon State, or Texas Tech, Texas, and Oregon State, Oregon. Those are on the Friday slate.
Yep.
So those are going to come at you on Black Friday. So now we're going to talk about Saturday, and Saturday is going to be, oh man, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day. It's going to be some great football. We've got starting off at noon the game.
This is
No O's, no M's. It's the game.
This is the game that everyone has been so excited for all season long.
Yeah, all season. I mean, I feel like this game has been talked about all season, and it's
season.
coming in. Yeah, it's coming into the train station exactly as hyped as it should be, because it's number 2 Ohio State versus number 3 Michigan. I'm saying the signs look good for this one.
Oh man, dude. Oh.
Oh, couldn't let it go without that one. You know, I think one of the big storylines for this one, is of course Harbaugh will not be on the sideline.
Nope.
So, you know, you have that. I don't think that matters
I do.
as much. I think these days, I mean, like, I don't know. One, you know that they knew this was coming. It's not like they've definitely been prepping, but like, I don't know. I feel like with him, like, he got to be there all week.
That's true.
I think that's like, if there's a difference between your coach being suspended and him not allowed to be on the sideline for the game. And I do think, like, I know it's not ideal, and him being on the sideline is better, but like, I don't think it's much of a shot in the foot as it should be.
Well, you
know,
expect this game to be really close, and coaches in close games like that, they have to make really critical time management decisions, when to call timeout. You know, and in those situations, you would trust your veteran coach who's been there since 2015 and who's one of the best coaches in all of college football. You would trust him to make those decisions as opposed to, you know, a guy who's only in his third game coaching at this level, you know, and being a head coach and making those decisions. That's where I think it would probably affect Michigan. You know what I mean?
Nah, for sure. But I guess my point is, I think the technology that we possess in this modern day and age, I think it gives them some benefit, because I know he's not supposed to be on the sideline. I don't really know how deep it is, like if he's not supposed to be communicating, but I can tell you for damn sure, if the dude was stealing signs, he's gonna be able to get a fucking message to his man about what to do, and he's gonna be able to get it there quick. You know, like that's the reason why I don't think, like, if this was like, honestly, even like 5 or 10 years ago, I think that's a big shot in the foot, like, just because of what the technology we have. You know, almost everything the coach has is going to be delayed by like at least seconds, and like seconds matter. But I feel like in the modern age that we live in, like, Harbaugh is going to be watching a setup that has absolutely zero delay. You know, for a fact, he's going to be watching the game live as it happens. He's not going to be watching ESPN, you know, with the national 30-second delay. He's going to be he's going to be watching a live thing. He's definitely going to be communicating with someone. I'm not going to try to fucking. There's no way the motherfucker's not talking to somebody. He's going to be talking to his people. They're going to be like, I think that those kind of decisions, there's a certain bit of being there in person to make like certain ones, but I think overall a lot of those quick decisions he's still going to be able to like make in a timely, like the proper timely fashion.
That's fair. I think
the only thing you got to worry about is when you got to run down the field to call a timeout.
True.
That's the only kind of shit that it really is like, oh, well, he's just not there to, bust out that QB speed.
Riley.
Those old D1 wheels.
Riley, who do you have in this game and why?
That's a great freaking question. I really don't know. I gotta say, I think Michigan wins it, and we all find out that Harbaugh is the curse.
I'm gonna disagree with that, bro. I think Ohio State wins it.
Yeah, I just think it'd be really funny if Michigan wins it.
I think the Michigan people that are like, it's a conspiracy. The signs didn't matter. Like, us beating those really bad teams the last 2 weeks proves that the sign stealing didn't matter. No, the sign stealing only mattered for one game a year, and that was the Ohio State game. Because, This is the game that the sign stealing would matter. And Michigan can no longer do that. Plus, Ohio State fans want Ryan Day fired, which is ridiculous. Ohio State.
Yeah, we talk about that. We've talked about how toxic a fan base the Ohio State people are.
I mean, dude, like Ryan Day, I think he's only lost 4 games in his entire coaching career at Ohio State, but they want him fired. They want him gone. It's ridiculous. This game.
I mean, would you not? That is disrespectful.
This game means more to Ohio State, I think. Obviously, it means so much to both teams, but I think.
Yeah, it means everything. Let's be clear. It means everything to both teams.
Yes.
This game does mean the world to both of these organizations, and I do believe you're correct that Ohio State has a little bit more of a chip to eat for this one. We're a little heavy. I just think it'd be funnier if Michigan wins, so I'm going Michigan.
I'm going Ohio State, dude. I think Ohio State, they're out to prove that, hey, the only reason we lost the last 2 games against Michigan is because of the sign stealing. And
I mean, the signs look good for it. That's all I got to say.
It's true. I mean, but dude, Michigan fans, just stop complaining about, the NCAA is out to get us. It didn't matter because we beat up on fucking Maryland and Rutgers. It didn't matter. Who gives a shit? No, this was the game that the sign stealing actually mattered. And I don't think it's a coincidence that it allegedly all started 2 years ago when Michigan suddenly started becoming this dominant program that could beat Ohio State. And not just beat them, but dominate them. I don't think that's a coincidence. Yeah. I think the sign stealing definitely played a part in that. And I think Ohio State is going to...
Just ask TCU.
Dude, absolutely ask TCU. If you go back and watch those highlights, by the way, you can see Michigan just...
I've done it.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I actually did. Yeah, after I read an article that was talking about the whole thing. I went and watched the video, but anyways, let's move on. We're getting too deep in this.
I think Ohio's...
You got Ohio State. I've got Michigan. The game's got everyone's attention. It's on Fox at noon. It's going to be a great game. Got to check it out. Also at noon on Saturday, next game that we got the Battle of the Bluegrass. I don't want to spend long on this one. We got Kentucky versus Louisville, SEC versus ACC. This one's the ABC game for the noon. Number 10 Louisville versus an unranked Kentucky. I believe Louisville takes this one. I know you got to throw all this stuff out. It's a rival game, yada, yada, yada. But Louisville can run the ball against anybody. And I think that running attack is very, very potent. And I think Kentucky's just going to have a hard time handling it.
Kentucky, historically, the last few years, has been the more physically dominant team up front because, they're an SEC team. They have SEC offensive and defensive linemen. But I think you're right, Riley. I think Louisville has just really focused on running the ball this year, and they are dominant up front. And I don't think Kentucky's going to be able to handle it. I think Louisville's going to win a close one. It's going to be close.
Very
close. It's going to be close, but I think
I'm not calling a blowout, but I think Louisville, especially because it's at home.
Yeah.
Jack Harlow's performing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's doing either an opening or a halftime, some shit like that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, Jawan Jordan,
big game.
Over 1,000 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns. I think Louisville's going to win this one.
All right. Moving on to the slate. That's what I thought. All right. So the 3:30 game, we have the other big one. It's the Iron Bowl. It's Alabama versus Auburn. This year it's in Auburn. I think Alabama's going to win this one simply because I think Nick Saban's just on the Nick Saban revenge tour. I do believe they're going to sacrifice Auburn to the sun god so he can defeat his son, Kirby Smart.
True.
But, it's a rivalry game. It's the Iron Bowl for all sakes. This is one of the most hard-fought rivalries in college football. But this is also the Nick Saban revenge tour. But damn if it wouldn't be funny as shit to get another walk-off Auburn win, like the fucking kick six or something like that, and just fuck Alabama's season over. That would be the best shit possible. I would probably pee myself laughing.
There are two.
But I think Alabama's going to win.
Alabama's going to win it. But I'm just going to point out two things. I think this game is going to be incredibly close. I wouldn't be shocked if Auburn wins this game. And this is why. Auburn, they're at home. Jordan Hare voodoo is a thing. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
Crazy shit always seems to happen in these big Auburn home games, especially against Alabama and Georgia. You had the kick six happen at home. You had the
bounce, the helmet bounce.
Yeah, dude, the helmet bounce against Georgia. A lot of crazy shit happens at home for Auburn in these huge games. The other thing, Hugh Freeze, when he was at Ole Miss, he had a winning record against Alabama. Hugh Freeze, his offenses give Nick Saban a lot of problems. I don't know if Auburn really has the personnel to do what he was able to do at Ole Miss, but I just think that's a big factor is Hugh Freeze knows how to beat Nick Saban. I still got Alabama, but I think it's going to be really close.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Iron Bowl, man. If that game isn't close, then it's a weird year. It is
a very weird year.
All right. Well, staying in the 3:30 time slot, going to a game that only matters to me and you. We're heading straight to Scott Stadium in Charlottesville, Virginia, for Virginia Tech versus UVA.
Yep.
And I mean, this is the worst toilet bowl that this game has been in a long time.
I could be a dick about this game, but I'm not gonna be.
I'm
just saying, bro. Y'all canceled the game last year.
Hey, shots fired. Okay?
Oh no!
Be careful with that.
Oh no!
How many innocent football players are you gonna kill with those shots fired, dude? What's up with you?
I don't know, dude. Fucking
It's like you're just random shots into a bus. What's up, man?
Riley, who do you got in this game? This one's tough for me.
What the fuck do you mean, who do I got in this game? We know who each other has. I'm not even going to fucking mince my... I think UVA is going to win 3 games this season. We beat William and Mary and... Oh, wait, hold on. Did we beat someone else? Oh, sorry. We're going to win 4 games this season. I forgot we beat someone else.
I thought that was the joke that you were going to pick Tech.
Oh, no. Okay, that's funny. That was funny. No, I forgot. I forgot about that. We beat Duke. That's just to prove my point. We beat teams that we shouldn't beat. Actually, shit, that's more of a point for us beating because we should probably beat y'all.
So this is hard for me.
So yeah, UVA.
As much as I love to joke about, the fucking shooting of last year and how y'all canceled, this game is going to be incredibly emotional, because this is the big rivalry of these two teams. UVA is going to come out. They're going to be motivated. It's going to be a home game. They're going to play inspired for, their dead football players and, all of that. They're going to play inspired for all the shooting victims. But Virginia Tech, I think Virginia Tech's better, and they're actually playing for something other than, pride. Like, they're playing to make a bowl game. Justin Fuente ruined all of our bowl streaks. It's really fucking unfortunate. Virginia Tech, they are playing to get into a bowl game. So I think Virginia Tech goes on the road, and I think they get the job done against the Virginia Cavaliers.
Yeah, man. Hey, I think UVA fresh off a win against Duke. I think we're gonna be a snowball rolling, and we'll see how a gobbler can handle it.
Absolutely, bro.
All right, man. In between there, we have one honorable mention of this whole thing. Of course, we have Washington State versus Washington. I do think Washington's gonna just wash that one, but that's just one that we got to mention. Once again, top 4 team, rivalry game. Nothing matters except for the rivalry. But Washington State fucking sucks.
I mean,
They're
again,
not terrible,
dude,
comparably.
If, Washington State was another team that we talked about who doesn't currently have a conference affiliation after the Pac-12 is going to dissolve, they're going to blame Washington for this because Washington left for the Big Ten. Wouldn't that be the greatest fuck you to Washington if they ruined their season by winning this game?
Dog, if Washington State wins this game, I hope their players get spray paint and spray paint a middle finger on Washington's field. It'd be one of the most. Yeah, that'd be the biggest fuck you.
Doesn't
I think,
that seem like something that is just classic college football rivalry game? Like,
for sure, but I don't think Washington's gonna let it happen.
That's fair. I root for chaos. I
root for chaos too, but I just don't see that game being the chaos game.
I think Washington State is going to shock the world and shock the Huskies and win this game as one final fuck you to Washington.
I root for, as someone that does also root for chaos, I would love that. I do think Washington's going to win. All right. Moving on. We got Florida State versus Florida. We get to see what Florida State looks like with a quarterback named Tate.
True. Jordan Travis.
Obviously, the tragic Jordan Travis injury.
Dude, by the way, just fuck ESPN for constantly showing the replay of his brutal, gruesome leg injury. Like,
fucking. Those are always so hard to watch, but fucking ESPN, dude.
They're just the worst. But dude, I just, if there was ever
this one's a hard one simply because of the quarterback injury.
Exactly. Like, if there was ever a time for Florida to rise up and win this game, it would be now. Because Florida State has an inexperienced, new starting quarterback playing who hasn't played all year. But I just think Florida State, they're just too talented across the board. They're a top 5 team for a reason. I think Florida State wins this game. They're just better.
Yeah.
They're better.
I'm going to go with Florida because Florida State's backup quarterback, now starting quarterback, does TikTok dances in the locker room. So
okay.
I don't think he can win. That doesn't sound like winning behavior. All right. Heading to the 7:30 slot.
This is your game, Riley.
We've got Clemson, number 24 now, Clemson,
Yeah.
versus South Carolina. In South Carolina, it's in Columbia. After last year, South Carolina upset Clemson. I think the Tigers come back, and I think we avenge our loss in our stadium by giving them another one. We were talking about this before. I am not scared of the Sandstorm, and William Bryce Stadium does not intimidate me as a stadium, even at night. So I think I've got confidence that my Clemson Tigers will, BYOG, bring our own guts, and walk out of this one with a win.
Okay. This one's tough for me. I love Shane Beamer. I love Beamer Ball Jr. Riley, can I tell you something?
Yo.
Be honest with me. Which quarterback do you trust more in this game? Do you trust Cade Klubnik, or do you trust Spencer Rattler?
All right, so that's a weird question, because trusting a quarterback means you got to think about the defense they're going against, and I just think Clemson's defense is the key here.
Okay.
I actually don't trust Cade Klubnik, but our defense has won us football games, and I think this is one of those cases where I think our defense can win us a football game.
I think Spencer Rattler is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in all of college football.
For sure, yeah. If I had a choice, if you were like, which quarterback I would switch today.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Yeah, I would take Spencer Rattler today.
I just think, South Carolina, they need momentum going into the offseason. They need another win to make a bowl game, to get to 6-6. It's a home game.
Yo, this would be a Shane Beamer special.
It would be a Shane Beamer. Be a Shane Beamer special. I'm gonna go South Carolina. I trust Spencer Rattler more than I trust Cade Klubnik. I'm sorry, dude. I think that's fair. Though.
I totally agree. I don't disagree with that statement. I think once again, I just think our defense is gonna be. I think it's gonna be too much even for him because he just doesn't have a great team around him.
True. You could be right, but I'm going to go South Carolina on this one.
I feel it. I expected it. Don't worry.
We disagreed a lot, Riley. We disagreed a lot.
That's how it should be.
It is how it should be.
But this one, we got one last one that we got to talk about. And this one I think we'll both agree on. We got number 1 Georgia going to Georgia Tech, Bobby Todd Stadium in Atlanta. And I think the Bulldogs, though I do think Georgia Tech, there's one team that would pull a retarded upset for no reason. It's our boys, the Yellow Jackets down there in Atlanta. But with that being said, I do believe the Georgia Bulldogs are probably just going to steamroll them.
No, they're going to steamroll them. I would give more credibility to that if Georgia Tech still ran the triple option.
Yo, for sure. The fact that they don't run the triple option anymore just makes me mad. I literally, every time I watch a Georgia Tech football game, I get visibly upset. It just makes me so mad that they switched away from the triple option and they suck.
Dude, they were good because of the triple option.
Yeah, the triple, especially when you recruit at the level that they do, they recruit pretty well. I mean, they're in Georgia. Georgia's a state that has a wealth of athletic talent.
They're in Atlanta, dude.
And so, when you're recruiting like they do, the triple option can be so much. It's dangerous at the military academies who, no offense, love Army and Navy. They're just not. They don't recruit crazy great athletes like D1, Power 5 athletes because they have such strict standards that you have to follow to get in there.
They have a certain weight that you have to be.
Yeah, certain weights. I mean, great, very serious grade requirements. You can't just waltz into a military academy. Not like you can't go major at basket weaving at West Point.
No. No.
Not to be mean or anything, but we all know the stereotypes around college football players, around college athletes in general. And you can't be one of those people at one of the service academies, which is, why their quality suffers in sports. But our military greatly benefits from their existence.
Yeah.
But with that being said, when you can recruit at the D1 Power 5 level like Georgia Tech could, and you're running an offense as dangerous as the triple option, you become a very potent team.
I mean, no, I
make the triple option great again.
Dude, hashtag make the triple option great again. Let's fucking go. But yeah, I would think Georgia Tech would have more of a chance if they still had Paul Johnson and ran the triple option, but I mean, they're just not good. They're not built to be a spread offense. You have to go in and get recruits built for a spread offense, and they're still in that transition, I feel like, and it's just Georgia's going to steamroll them, dude. It's Georgia. Georgia feels kind of like a team of destiny right now, but we'll see if that changes when they play Alabama in the SEC championship game.
Absolutely, man. All right, well, this was a great one. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know a lot of people have been asking us for preview content, and they felt like no better week to do a little bit of preview content than Rivalry Week itself.
Rivalry Week, bro.
So
let's go.
We appreciate y'all for sticking around. Please like, comment, subscribe, all the beautiful, wonderful things. Keep coming back. Keep watching all the stuff we got. Postseason is getting here, man. The regular seasons are winding down. We're right there to the playoffs, to bowl season, NFL and college. Everything's heating up. So please keep tuning in. We got to get out of here, y'all. Peace.